Today, Wi-Fi Viking is going to be putting some Camso X4S tracks on my four-wheeler. This will be my first video here in Svartalfheim, the place of the dwarves where they fashion all sorts of different weapons and tools for the Aesir. I have my front tracks and my rear tracks, and I always like to keep it real in my videos, so this is the first time I've even delved into any of this stuff. It might be fun to watch me just bumble around, but here are the mating kit components in here. Let's see what we got. I'll cut myself on these staples here. There we have some nuts. Gotta have some nuts. Let's see. It's like some plates to mount onto the sway bars. Let's see. More plates. There's some thread on the end of a cable, it looks like, with some pieces that are crimped on to hold another bolt and a nut threaded in on the end there. Installation guideline directives. Directives de instalación. Nice. So we'll use those. It's probably a good idea to use those. One little other thing in here. Lots of bubble wrap. That's good. Install kit. Set that aside. Those must be for the front because they're big, and one of the things that we'll show later on the ATV is that my front bars are curved. They're not just straight. So it's going to be a little different on this installation than a lot that when they're just straight. Here's a little kit of, I don't know, promotional and user manual information, this little bag. Camso X4S for all-terrain vehicles and side-by-side vehicles. So yeah, that's one of the things about the X4S is that they are actually usable on both an ATV as well as a UTV with the smaller UTVs. That's the user manual. Probably should have looked at this before I started making a video, but hey, that keeps it real. That's why. What's funny is as I make these videos and then I'm doing whatever I'm doing and people say, hey, I saw you do a little dance or screw something up, and that's what people remember about the videos. Just funny. So I'm sure I'll probably screw a bunch of stuff up so everyone can laugh at me. Lots of fun stuff here. Installation. Let's get the installation guide out. See if anything else in here you might want to look at. Procedure. Teeth on the sprocket. Parts. Oh, this is what tells you what sprocket to use, I guess, on what ATV. So Sportsman 850 SP arched A-arms. So that's what I have. Mine's a 2019. Front sprocket 16, rear sprocket 18. The number of teeth on the sprocket. Okay. So get deeper in here, see what else we have. Installation guideline. T4S, that's the older one, isn't it? A different one. Front anchor bracket part list. Rear anchor bracket part list. So those must be the bigger ones, must be the rear ones then. Steering limiter assembly. That's what these are. Steering limiter assembly. Suspension stiffener. That looks like a suspension stiffener. So, have two of those? Just one. Installation guide, nice. So position the vehicle on a flat and level surface, a suitable lifting device, shift the transmission to neutral and turn off the engine. Identify and position each unit of the track system near the position indicated on the sticker affixed on the frame. Refer to figure 7. A little sticker. Using a lifting device, raise the rear of the ATV and install appropriate stands. Ensure that the vehicle is immobilized and safe to work on. Remove the rear wheels. Make sure that wheel studs and wheel hubs are free of dirt. See figure 8. If applicable, remove CV joint protectors. Remove bolt securing the lower suspension arm to the wheel hub. A new M10 1.5 by 200 mil bolt provided in the installation kit will be used to secure together the anti-rotation anchor bracket, the lower suspension arm, and the wheel hub. See figure 9. Oh, it even has the arches on it. Position anchor bracket 9-10 under lower suspension arm. Slip C-shaped end of bracket on suspension arm. Cross member. Install spacers as shown on figure 10 and rotate anchor bracket up to align all holes. Arrow. Cut out in anchor bracket must face the front of the vehicle. That's the rear ones. So the cutout. Let's see the cutout. Front of the vehicle. Insert M10 by 200 mil bolt 11 through anchor bracket, spacer, suspension arm, and steering knuckle. Use nut provided to tighten the assembly to 50 Nm or 37 foot-pounds of torque. See figure 11. We're going to be putting that, oh I see, and then this little cutaway goes up against this little cross pipe here. Secure the undercarriage to the rear hub using the nuts 26 provided. Refer to figure 12. Attach the stabilizing rod to the anchor bracket using bolt C, spacer, bushing D, flat washer E, and nut F. Torque to 52 foot-pounds. Refer to figure 13. Ensure the parts are assembled in the correct order. Verify that spring assembly bolt G is tightened to the recommended torque specification, 55 foot-pounds. Inspect the rear track system and ensure that all mounting bolts were correctly tightened during installation. Lower the ATV to the ground and proceed to install the front track system. Rear suspension stiffener. Remove the flange nylon nuts from the mounting bolts, securing the rear suspension lower arms near the front of the differential. Refer to figure 15. Insert the suspension stiffener plate 24 on the lower A arms mounting bolts, securing the stiffener plate using the nylon nuts provided. Tighten nuts to 37 foot-pounds of torque. See figure 16. That's a stiffener. Seems like I only have one of those. I wonder if there's another one. I see why. Yeah, there is only one because it goes up here. That makes sense. So just stiffen her. Goes underneath the differential, looks like. Very cool. Let's see what's next. What's next? And front track system. Using a lifting device, raise the front of the ATV and install appropriate stands. Ensure that the vehicle is immobilized and safe to work on. Remove the front wheels. Make sure that wheel studs and wheel hubs are free of dirt. See figure 17. If applicable, remove CV joint protectors. Remove the bolt washer and bushings from the front stabilizing rod end and insert the bolt in the front anchor bracket as shown in figure 18. Note, it is not possible to insert this bolt once the bracket is attached to the suspension arm. Remove lower shock absorber mounting bolt temporarily and pivot the shock absorber away from mounting point. You will then be able to lift the suspension arms to facilitate installation of anchor bracket cover. See figure 19. Note, reassemble shock absorber and mounting bolt after installation of anchor bracket kit. Position the bottom part of the anchor bracket 2-3 underneath the lower suspension arm. Position the top part 4-5 over the suspension arm so the tenon splits in the mortise cut in the bottom part. Insert the M10 by 55 mil bolt 6 through the top and secure the two parts together with the nut 7 provided. Tighten assembly to 37 foot-pounds of torque. Refer to figure 20. That's what these guys are. Okay. You gotta see that. These are the front A-arms. See how they're curved? Most likely yours will not be unless you're doing a similar model, Polaris. Using the nuts 26 provided, secure undercarriages to front wheel hubs. The procedure and precautions are the same as for rear units. Refer to figure 12 for reference. Stabilizing arms on 2015 and later front track systems have an integrated steering limiter holding plate. It is not necessary to install the holding plates 22 provided in the installation kit. See figure 22. If the model year of your track system is earlier than 2015, consult Installation Guide 7003-77-3500. Says to discard the jetter. Interesting. We'll see what that actually means. Attach the stabilizing rod B to the anchor bracket A using the two spacer bushings C, flat washer D, and nut E. Torque to 52 foot-pounds. And refer to figure 23. Note, ensure that parts are assembled in the correct order. Verify that spring assembly bolt F is tightened to the recommended torque specification, 55 foot-pounds. Refer to figure 24. So that goes underneath that. Interesting. Okay. Steering limiter installation. Assemble steering limiter cables, aluminum mounting discs B, and step spacers A together. See figure 25. Important, apply grease evenly around step spacer bushing and then hole of aluminum disc. When assembling these particular parts together, see figure 25. Interesting. Look at this guy's little bees. Assemble the steering limiter aluminum mounting disc with the front anchor bracket using the steering limiter mounting rod bolt D, washer E, and nut F. Tighten assembly to 50 Nm 37 foot-pounds. Refer to figure 26. Note, make sure that arrow on top of aluminum mounting discs points towards the front of the vehicle. These are a little arrow here on the disc. The other one you can't see it because it's on top, underneath the top one, but that's the arrow. Needs to go front. Here's a picture of the diagrams again. Comes out, that goes in. Oh, interesting, I see. Steering limiter adjustment. Warning, before going to the next steps, make sure the stabilizing arms are correctly installed, that the angle of attack is set correctly, and that the alignment is correct. Refer to the user manual supplied at purchase. Turn the vehicle's steering wheel to its maximum point of travel on the left, while maintaining pressure on the steering wheel. Turn threaded rod to adjust length of cable so that the center of the cable end hole G is located 13 to 19 millimeters, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, short of the center of the mounting hole on the support plate H. See figure 27. Reverse steering wheel a little to be able to bolt support plate and cable together. Tighten provided bolt I to 24 foot-pounds. See figure 28. Repeat steps for right side. Wow, I'm almost done. Woo! All right. Installation guidelines. Completion. Verify the suspension settings. If the shock absorbers are adjustable, they should be adjusted to the firmest level in order to allow for maximum clearance between the system and the fender of the vehicle. Verify for possible contact between the undercarriage and the lower fender. If there is contact, the fender should be modified, cut, to avoid damage to the vehicle's components and premature wear on rubber tracks. To prevent any contact between the undercarriage and the mudguards, the corners of the rear mudguard should be trimmed back. This will help avoid damage to the ATV and premature wear on the rubber tracks. Refer to figure 29. Lower the vehicle to the ground. Adjustments. Caution, the track systems are designed to provide the best performance in terms of traction and floatability. Adjustments such as alignment, track tension, and angle of attack are necessary and mandatory for optimal performance of the systems. For more information on these adjustments, refer to the adjustments recommendations or the user manual provided with the installation kit to the specific vehicle. Consult your dealer or distributor to solve any problems related with track system installation. Now we will go ahead and get to it. I'm glad we went through that though, because now I have a little better idea of what these different components are for and how they will go on. The different paperwork that came with the tracks are the user manual, the adjustments manual, and the installation guide. I'm going to go ahead and pull all these components out of the... I'm going to get some coffee first, hold on. I'm going to pull all these out of the packages so everybody can see. I'm going to pull them all out of the package so everyone can see the different components. From what we were reading in the directions, these are the rear plates, the rear installation kit. Bubble wrap. Arrgh. These are those bolts that go through. They're the new ones. Some spacers and the little capture nuts, nylocks. Go on the ends of those. These are the rear plates. Little arrows. I made it. the front ones. Ooh, little guy almost fell out. Another little guy. Riding up. GMR. GMR, I must be right, and GML must be left. See the little arrow forward. GMR. GML. Yep. All right. This is IER and IEL. Imagine L and L go together, R and R go together. Here's that stiffener plate that I was wondering about. Goes help support the suspension, I imagine, with the additional weight of the tracks and everything. Couple 9 locks in there. Okay. So the last thing we have are the steering limiter. I'm making a mess. Ugh. I think I might just leave this in here. You can see it well enough. This cable's with the all thread crimped on, and then the other end has a threaded lug on it. All set. I think we've gone over the prep work enough to see what we get about putting these on my Polaris Sportsman.